This is one of the city's biggest attractions, Allegiant Stadium, opened back in 2020.
Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Miami Dolphins
and the Las Vegas Raiders.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports.
And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. Carry by Taylor to start the drive.
And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
From the 16, Wilson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that will bring up 3rd and 1.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
They'll try and run for the first with Taylor.
He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's the sneak with Wilson.
And he will have a Dolphins first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive.
They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. This time, Wilson will throw. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
8 yards.
They give to Taylor out of the gun.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 47.
Again, it's Taylor.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, to me, there was no question about the intent there. And I think he was a little fortunate that the penalty flag didn't come out for grounding. But he'll get away with it and get another shot on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. And this one is incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10.
First carry for Najee Harris. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for a Las Vegas first down. The Raiders at 7-2 here on the year. Their head coach, he's got them believing in themselves. They've won 7 of their last 9 games now.
And I thought they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory. The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Able to force him out of the pocket right, but still able to complete it.
And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass.
He completes that to Garrett Wilson.
And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 23. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want their body blows all game long and fit touchdown.
Drake London
with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year.
And the Raiders will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now a 7-0 game. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
On 2nd and 7, Wilson. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Amari Barno. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
First, you jump the ball over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down.
Wilson. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things, get back to what works.
Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or two. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
And are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you one of those guys get your list done? Because I think about what every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the #1 goal? Make the playoffs. #2, win your division. #3, and I think the biggest goal of all, try to get the #1 seed so you get that first-round bye and ensure you don't have to go anywhere in January and hopefully get to the Super Bowl that way.
47 yards on the ground for him so far. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down. Herbert operating from the red zone. And it's caught on the right side of Snell. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up 1st and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far in this drive. This offense on the march.
Going to be hit and met at the line of scrimmage. They get him down at the 3. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. Back to throw here, Herbert. Just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
Excellent recognition that none of his receivers were beating coverage and getting open, so he just threw that one away. They'll come back to the huddle, reset, and try something different.
The Miami defense trying to keep him out. They haven't let him in yet. Can they hold again here on 3rd and goal? They'll try and run with Harris. They push forward, but I don't think it's enough. He's going to be about a yard short. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. Well, let's see what they do. They're knocking on the door here in the 2nd quarter.
And you know what you look at on your play sheet? Your 2-point conversion plays, because you've drawn up a number of them in today's football. You don't just have 1 or 2 for the game. You have more like 6 or 7. Which one do you like here? Because that's essentially what you're going for right now. That spot of the field, call one of those and go get 6.
They run for it with Harris, and he's not going to get in. They stop him at the 1. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And the Dolphins celebrate their goal line stand.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
They'll run with Tanner to begin the drive. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety.
Every team has plays in their book to try and buy some room when a safety's on the table. But a big variable is how does each team deal with the pressure of executing in those situations. In this case, they didn't, and they gave up 2 points.
This is brought in at the 21. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got taking it right down Broadway. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas.
For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And if you're wondering how fast he was going, Next Gen Stats clocked him at close to 21 miles an hour. First and 10, Taylor now.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
They run once more with Taylor.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Here's Wilson to throw. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. Now Wilson. And the Raiders have got him. Devontae Wyatt. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. He's got him in. Complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It's a big play there for Miami. 47 yards.
And the Dolphins first down.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Up the middle, here's Taylor.
And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Here's Wilson. And this one too low.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Wilson. And it'll be intercepted.
It's Devin Lloyd with a pick. And the Raiders are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that third down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
Forced out to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10.
Herbert, that swung out wide to Harris.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down for a nice little gain.
Play action. It's Herbert.
And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
That might be the third down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
They're going for it. This is Harris.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Herbert setting up to throw on first down. He finds Wilson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
That's good for Las Vegas.
On 1st and 10, Herbert.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. They're going for a receiver there. Already has one touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half on it's the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points.
Myers' kick is good, and that will do it for this first half.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far.
As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, set and ready to rock for the third quarter.
The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. From his end zone, here's Tremon Smith. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They turn to Harris to begin the drive.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, second down.
It's rare that a man his size can't at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out. And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration frustration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Devontae Wyatt dropping it for the second straight play. Might want to think about blocking him here on third down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
Two things you can do in that situation: run and punt the football, or try and take your shot at getting the first down. They chose the latter, but they'll have to punt all the same.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck.
And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. With the football changing hands here, and as this offense takes the field, Charles, they'd be fine with more of the same on this upcoming drive. Last time out, they found the end zone for 6.
And they're certainly hoping for more of the same, but the game plan, I doubt it'll just be a carbon copy of the last drive, because I think this offense is ready to break out some new wrinkles and try some new things that might be hidden in their playbook. They want to use that confidence to its advantage, while also keeping the defense from anticipating what's up next.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now third down and 6 to go.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Give them 12 yards that time, and a Las Vegas first. A play fake, and now Herbert to throw.
Throw right side, taken in by Bellinger. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
That's good for Las Vegas.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Meanwhile, Herbert's throw here going to be caught by Wilson.
Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll, and this drive continues to plunge forward.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
This is caught, and they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Well, they had a gain of 10 last time, now a gain of 20 here.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they can be set up for the 1st and goal.
And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. A shotgun snap for Herbert. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Pass rusher extraordinaire, Dee Ford that time, getting the sack. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound.
Here's Herbert. He gets it complete to Harris.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this 3rd quarter.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt.
Myers' kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And their 4-game win streak very much in jeopardy as they go to work here late with a 1st and 10.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
42 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They go to the ground again with Taylor.
And slow going there as they'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Now he'll let it go deep right side. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward.
And the Raiders are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. They exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball, and that one was picked off.
That 1st down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. Throwing for the out route, he finds Wilson.
And he'll go out of bounds after getting this across the 15. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
Harris running straight ahead.
And he's got some space here. He's at the 50. 30, the 20.
And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offensive...
And intercepted. Wilson's third of the game. Picked up by Asante Samuel Jr.
And he takes this one back.